I'm now joined live by John Pilger, Australian journalist and documentary filmmaker. Great to have you on the programme, sir. We've heard the UK police make a statement. The investigation's still very much active. It's going to take some time. No suspects named as of yet. British politicians, they've placed the blame squarely on Russia there, haven't they? No questions asked. Do you think this has been preemptive?
Well, no. I mean, you have to stand back from all of this. This is a carefully constructed drama as part of the propaganda campaign that has been building now for several years in order to justify the actions of NATO, Britain, the United States towards Russia. That's a fact. Russia is ringed by missiles. It has NATO right up on its western border. This is unprecedented since the Second World War. Most people in Britain, most people in the United States don't understand these dangers, the dangers of this propaganda. Now, this drama about whether or not Serge Skripal was poisoned by Novichok. For one thing, it's up to the British government to supply evidence that even the most basic prima facie evidence, prima facie case that Russia was in any way responsible for this. Russia's nerve gas program, its Novichok, active Novichok program, was verified as destroyed in September 2013 by the United Nations watchdog. Unlike the United States, that is still to be destroyed. Porton Down, a few miles from where Skripal and his daughter were found, has a long and sinister record with nerve gas and chemical weapons. In 2015, The Independent in Britain disclosed that Porton Down was behind the experimentation. The government had experimented on British citizens with nerve gas agents, including on the London Tube. Going back to 1942, the British government had to pay compensation, had to decontaminate Gurlad Island, which it contaminated. The whole role of Porton Down has been integral to the Cold War apparatus of this, and I'm only stating that. I'm only stating that is that there is no evidence, and this is so dangerous with Russia being effectively pushed into a corner with these accusations. It's part of a propaganda campaign. I can tell you that. I'm a journalist who spent almost all my career working in the mainstream in Britain. This is a propaganda campaign promoted specifically in the media and in the government.
If I can just interrupt, Mr. Pilger, I want to get as many questions as I can. And I mean, if we can get back to the sort of question at hand here, I mean, Prime Minister Theresa May said it's highly likely that Russia was involved in some way in this, certainly some strong circumstantial evidence at least. I mean, are you ruling that out entirely as a possibility, any Russian involvement in this?
Well, there's no evidence that Russia is highly likely. Novichok, we don't even know if the Novichok program even existed. Russia's request for a sample of this nerve agent has been turned down. The British police have made no commentary on this. This is extraordinary. So you have an attempted murder, you have a crime scene, and you have no evidence. But you have, and neither do you have a motive. Why on earth would Russia, on the eve of an election and on the eve of staging the World Football Cup, want to destroy, if you like, its international name with such a crime? It makes sense. But there's plenty of motive on the other side, because, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is part of a carefully constructed drama in which the media plays a role, the government plays a role, both sides of the House of Commons play a role, unfortunately. And it's Iraq. If you go back to 2003, that carefully constructed drama saw an invasion of Iraq and the death of up to 1 million people. And we know that was based entirely on propaganda, deception, and lies. That, at the very least, should make us skeptical of May's theatrics in Parliament.
Mr. Pilger, we're going to have to stop you there. We're running out of time. Certainly a very complex case, very wide diplomatic ramifications as well. A lot of questions unanswered, to evidence to be considered both sides here. John Pilger, Australian journalist, documentary filmmaker, thanks so much for coming on and giving us your take today on what's a quickly deepening diplomatic scandal there.